I'm 35 years old, just about halfway through my life, I suppose, and I do have a driver's license, but I have never owned a car. And there are a number of reasons for this. One of them being that I actually prefer living in cities, which are more social and culturally active places, and owning a car in a city is frankly quite pointless. You can just get a bike or use public transport. They're incredibly polluting, and there's not much point if you want to live in cities as I do. There's not much point owning a car. But I think one of the main reasons I don't want to own a car is because it's quite a commitment, it's quite a responsibility, it's quite an expense. When you get a car, you need to register through various systems. You need the insurance and the tax, this kind of thing. And it's a huge responsibility. Every now and again, you're going to get a ticket for parking in the wrong place, driving the wrong way down a one-way street, or speeding, or this kind of thing. I once knew a chap who made the mistake of driving the wrong way down a one-way street for an entire month without realising it, and that was £2,000 he's never going to see again. Well, that's a month or two's savings gone. That's a month or two of that person's life they had to trade away doing some god-awful job so that they could pay for a fine on their car. I looked into it, and in Britain, the average car owner spends about £3,500 on their car a year. And I've always been told by car drivers that it's about freedom. Well, how many months of the year are you spending in an office to pay for that so-called freedom? That's what, like 10% of your year? At least, maybe 20% for some of you. 20% of your working life paying for a car, and most of the time the car is basically used to get people where? To the workplace where they have to work to pay for the car. And at some points in my life I've worked in offices with other young people in my 20s, they were in their 20s, and a good quarter to a third of their income was simply going to the finance repayments on their car that they used to get to and from work. And of course, because they're in a 40-hour-a-week full-time work flow, they basically have very little free time to actually enjoy their car and go here, there and everywhere, as they proclaim is the purpose of a car. I'm a huge fan of budget travel and travelling on a shoestring, and for those of us who know how to do that effectively, you realise that in the right country with the right attitude, £3,500 is essentially enough to provide your accommodation for a year, to provide travelling and backpacking for a good few months to maybe half a year. That is freedom. So you could work a job and not have a car, and instead of using that money for a car, use it to actually be free and leave your job and go travelling around the world. And so that is what I have done. That is my philosophy. That is why I do not own a car, and I will never own a car.